Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back with another recording session of Hearthstone. Now, I will have to admit that I actually did have a 60 gold quest to win 5 Tavern Brawls, and I decided to exchange it because I just couldn't stand doing 5 more games on Tavern Brawls. We do have a new Tavern Brawl we're gonna play, but no. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to make an entire episode be just Tavern Brawls. They're too weird. They're not good enough most of the time. So I lost 20 gold there. But I did get 1 pack through a watch and learn, which is always a double-edged sword. You get a watch and learn, that means I get a pack, but it also means that I'm down 1 potential episode because now I have to wait yet another day, and it took me 4 days to record the next recording session versus 3 days, which might be a problem at some point in the future. I mean, it is definitely going to be a problem because the fact of the matter is I'm getting further and further ahead with everything, every other series, except for Hearthstone. And I can't really get ahead in Hearthstone unless I figure out something I want to play and something I want to do. Fortunately, we're only a few more recording sessions before we're over the 5,000. We'll start doing arena runs. Maybe we'll find out that we're really good at arena runs, and that will be a way of getting new more footage. Let's see, what's this Tavern Brawl? Spiders have overrun everything, including your deck. Whatever class you play, your deck will be teaming with web spinners. Yeah, I think we've already done a Tavern Brawl like this. So web spinners, I think, give you hunter class things. But what were my other 2 things? The rogue and warrior, shaman and warlock. No overlap there. Ooh. This is gonna take a while, so we'll do warrior. So yeah, we have with no overlap, we're gonna go at least 2 episodes this recording session anyways. So I'm in the middle of recording Deponia, and I need to figure out a completely different system. A better system as to how I record those.
Victory or death!
Record point-and-click adventures or puzzle games that I haven't played before. Particularly point-and-click adventures, I would say, because the that's odd. The Hearthstone deck tracker just updated today, and it didn't pop up the box saying to change my deck.
Job's done.
Interesting. It just stayed with it. So the problem with Deponia, well, there's 2 problems. There's a problem with Deponia, and there's a problem with playing point-and-click adventures I've never played before. If I went and tried to do like the King's Quest series, yeah, it would be the exact same situation because I would just not have the ability to immediately figure out the solutions. In fact, I even learned of a phrase that explains what the problem was as adventure games got crazier and crazier in an effort to outdo each other. There was this one game that was
Job's done.
that put in a puzzle And according to the creators, they put in the puzzle because they didn't have time to finish the game properly, so they put in this ridiculous puzzle anyways, called the cat hair mustache puzzle, which you could go Google it, and that's what I did, and it gave me a pretty good explanation of what that was all about. But basically, you're trying to impersonate somebody who doesn't have a mustache, but to complete the puzzle and go forward in the game, you have to then get a mustache and do a ridiculous sequence of events that makes no sense to get cat fur and then turn it into a mustache and then draw a mustache on the passport of the person you're trying to impersonate. I mean, it seems the whole logic, there's just like no logic whatsoever in it, and that's the problem with a lot of point-and-click adventure puzzles. There are systems you can try to put in there. The two main problems with point-and-click adventures are the puzzles don't make any sense. One of the ones I did on Deponia, for instance, to solve the puzzle, you had to go into the menu and turn off the music, and that's just like a completely unacceptable solution to any puzzle. First of all, it messes up my recording as a YouTuber, because then I have to go adjust the volume back. But it also is just not something anybody would think of doing. And I mean, fortunately I've already got the walkthrough up, and I've had to use it 6 or 7 times now, of just reading solutions directly and going, oh, so that's what it wanted me to do. And a lot of times the solution when I read it in the walkthrough isn't that I couldn't figure out the puzzle. I had figured out almost all the puzzle already. The solution was, oh, I couldn't see the small tiny object on each that I was supposed to click on, and the whole this is gonna be weird. Let's see, what can I do here? Here we go, that's exactly what I need. Yeah, that's a good play. Definitely a good play going on there. So yes, in point-and-click adventures in general, and in a few cases in Deponia, it's just like I didn't even see the thing I was supposed to click on, or I didn't even find the thing I was supposed to click on. It didn't even return, deal damage to all other minions. Well, that's gonna kill this guy, and this guy, and this guy. That sucks. Your minions can't be reduced down to 1. Go ahead and power this guy up and hit him in the face.
Job done.
That'll work. So yeah, And now, specific, those are the problems with point-and-click adventure games, and I've got a lot of them still to go through. I have the rest of the Telltale collection to go through, and then there are a lot of LucasArts things, and they just announced that they're gonna release a remake of Day of the Tentacle, which makes a great excuse to go back and play that again. Do I want to do this? Do I want to do this? Do this? So these two cannot be reduced. So I'll just go ahead and kill this guy. Here.
Oh, I've been inside that thing for months.
Think I'm gonna get a victory here? Good. Glad. I may even decide to stick with this deck. Whenever this minion takes damage, double its attack. Well, I'll have to kill this guy if I'm gonna do that. Give your taunt minions +2/+2.
I have returned.
So the problem specifically to I'm getting distracted here, I can tell. Playing the game is doing this. The problem specifically with Deponia is just level layout. It is blatantly obvious. When you make games, and it sounds silly, but when most people make games, they do small sections, and then at the very end, or almost the very end, not the very, very end, they plug those sections in strange reasons, in strange places that you wouldn't really even expect, and somehow the story still pretty much works, or you adjust the story. You can certainly notice it in a lot of places. Let's see. How can we do this? Deal 3 damage and gain that. This, and this.
Job done.
So, particularly in a point-and-click adventure, each chapter in
I
Deponia
have returned.
has a set of puzzles you have to do. There is a point A, it's wherever you start, and there is the point Z, and it's wherever that chapter is going to end. And in between that, you can have any number of actions. Now, a puzzle is going to be a combination of several things. It's going to be picking up items, using items with each other or with characters, and accomplishing a goal. So the chapter that I'm so in one thing, the only real goal, here I've won. So we'll play him.
Well played.
So in one chapter that was incredibly short, all you had to do was, well, you had to get a card working, basically. Get the person you're trying to save in the car and get the car through a subway puzzle, basically. Okay, well, let's go and open that pack. And then let's go to casual play. I think our chances of success might be a little higher on casual play. Just quickly open all of that, and I imagine we'll come over here in all 5 cards. Interesting, only 2 were extra. So we didn't have 2 blizzards. We didn't have 2 slams. And we didn't have any of the frothing berserker. Interesting. And then we didn't have any gorehounds. So this doesn't make a lot of sense. Something's gone wrong with Hearthstone here, because it's telling me that I collected more cards than I just did. And it's telling me I'm getting 2 copies of cards I've had 2 copies of for a while. I don't know what's going on here with Hearthstone, but this seems like a bug. Let's see. Just make sure it's not messing up any other way. So we're gonna try Rogue and Warrior, and I think I'll probably just try Warrior first here again. So one of the chapters in Deponia is just those 3 things. Now, to do those 3 things wasn't really an incredibly long amount of time. Less than an hour to do a chapter. There's nothing wrong with having a 1 hour or even a little less than 1 hour chapter in a game. I don't hold any like mental rules to myself or others about how long a chapter needs to be. But the problem is a chapter needs to be somewhat consistent between its own story. So if somebody, for example, in books, were to write a chapter that was 10 pages long, that's fine. But then all the chapters should be somewhere around 10 pages. I would say that would be a really short story, but maybe, and then if one chapter was 30 or even 50 pages, that's probably 50 is probably pushing it 5 times as long, but 3 times as long would be fine. The problem with the chapter in Deponia is that the chapter before that took me 10 hours to do. So you're talking 10 times as long for the first chapter. Yeah, it was the first chapter. And then the second chapter only took an hour. It felt like a huge ripoff. Now, Deponia never sold itself, at least to my knowledge, per chapter. And I'm not certain, but I would kind of suspect they didn't ever release it episodically and say, well, here you can pre-order the game and get chapter 1, and then chapter 2 and 3 will come out later for the first game. But what they did do is they broke up the game. Definitely. The first game, Deponia, just called Deponia, is rather short. And it's of a planned trilogy that had no business being a planned trilogy. I don't think the concept of a planned trilogy, after I thought about it, should ever be done by anybody. Doesn't matter if you're a AAA game developer and you know you can do it. Don't do planned trilogies. Don't do... I guess that would also expand to don't do annualized series. Like... well, I think the real difference is if they did Assassin's Creed, which is an annualized series, there's going to be a new one every year. I think what they could improve there is they could just say, well, we have no intention for any of these stories to actually connect, and for the most part, a lot of the games are like that. But the 1, 2, and 3 definitely were trying to connect the stories. So yeah, don't do trilogies. Don't plan for trilogies. Make one good game and release it when it's done. And Deponia by itself is not one. It's an alright game by itself, but I would be very frustrated for the length and probably the price you pay for it. And it's sucky. It's undeniably crappy that they still sell Deponia on Steam. It should just be the Complete Adventures collection. Should be the only thing you could get, because there's nobody should just play the first one.
Ready your lance curve.
Let's see. Guess I'll end my turn here. So, to get back to what they should have done in Deponia, is they should have taken some of the puzzles in Chapter 1 and put them in Chapter 2 to make Chapter 2 a longer thing. And it could have been very easy because there was only one person you talked to, that you could talk to or see at all in Chapter 2. At all. And there are probably about 15 people you talk to in Chapter 1. So if they just moved a few of the elements of the puzzles, a few of the things around, it would have been way helpful. And what they could have easily done is just
What
Bend to my command.
They could have done the coffee puzzle in Chapter 1. This is kind of spoilish, but there's a puzzle where you have to make cappuccino. And to make cappuccino, you need several elements. So that the coffee puzzle is the biggest puzzle in Chapter 1. So they could have made that shorter, or they could have moved it, or it probably would have been easier to simply move some of the other puzzles out of Chapter 1 completely. Or just move where Chapter 1 started. It would have actually helped. It would have actually been much more balanced if perhaps as soon as you found the character you're looking for, her name is Goal, that's when Chapter 2 started. Because that's all you would have had to really done. But the very first chapter has like a tutorial puzzle. It has a several scenes that start you in your adventure. Let's see.
I enjoy raiding.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna win here. I think I might get this, but I'm not paying enough attention. The puzzle, it would take work. It would take moving some characters around. It would, but it could have definitely been done. It definitely felt like the first chapter at one point was all the game was gonna be, when then it would have been a rather short game. I'm not even sure if you would be willing to pay $3 for the game that short. But then I did play 10 hours for it, so maybe up to 5. If you're willing to pay up to $5 for a 10-hour game. That'd be about my best guess. And that's one of the things I think about, but then I also say to myself, you know what? I'm not a great I'm not a great reviewer as far as putting numbers on games or values on games. And in a lot of ways, I can't put a value on games. I can say what I think $10 a 10-hour game is worth, or what $10 should get you. But there absolutely in the world are going to be people where $10 might as well be $1 million, and there are people in the world where $10 might as well be a penny or free. Yep.
Ready to flee.
So
Ready to
it's
flee.
somewhat ridiculous. I'm just gonna kill this guy. I tried for several turns not to kill that character, and it's not helping. It's not working. Maybe that's a huge mistake in Hearthstone play, I don't know. It probably is a mistake. I'll grant you that. So, and it's not just chapter 1 and chapter 2 of Draconia. I'm still in the middle of the game, but I imagine I'm gonna quickly finish the second of the trilogy games, Chaos and Draconia, and the menu that, since I got the complete collection, is a mess about putting things together and merging them, but that's kind of doesn't matter.
Moving. Stop moving.
But I imagine I'm gonna quickly be finished with that, and then I will get into the third game. And I'm not seeing any reason why it won't be the same situation, where one, maybe two of the chapters in the final game are going to be very long, and then the other chapters are rather short. And it feels so unbalanced. I kind of like the short episodes, the short chapters though. Short chapters in a point-and-click adventure game actually limits the number of items you're going to pick up and try to interact with. It limits the number of areas you can visit. It limits the number of characters you can talk to, which if you get to a point where you have to click every single item on every single other item, or try to give every single item to every single character, when you have 5 extra characters or 5 extra items, you're talking exponentially longer amounts of time to try every combination. So it definitely creates a smooth thing. Eventually, if you go down that concept of having just a if you go down the concept of just having a what am I trying to say? A tiny area with a tiny amount of items, you will work your game down to those escape games that are on cell phones and iPads. If you've ever seen those or played those, they're fun enough for what they are.
Here we go.
In my opinion, but you're usually trapped in one room, and at most you will have 2 or 3 different angles to that room you can look at. So you're not going to go into different rooms. You're going to pick up maybe 5 things at a time, and there's going to be maybe 20 things to interact with, and I've never seen an escape game with anybody actually in it. As far as geez, I don't know what to do here. Let's just go ahead and do this, and I guess I'll just end my turn. So yeah, the escape games slightly boring, very much pixel hunting because that's all you're really doing. Trying to click that exact right place. They have the rooms often have ridiculous puzzles that wouldn't actually exist in a real world.
So many options.
Yeah! I'll hide in the back! Avast, matey!
I don't know what I want to do here.
I wonder.
Go ahead and just kill this guy.
Here we go.
I'm not paying attention to the game at all. So, yeah, escape games. Another style of game I probably wouldn't cover very much. I don't think there are too many escape games in Steam anyway, and it would be rather difficult for me to figure out how any of those would actually be worth your time to review, because they're all the same. Well, this is gonna kill me either way. So let's go ahead and do it here. All he has to do is do 1 damage to me. And perhaps he can't, actually.
Stop yelling!
So, this.
Let's get salty!
Well played.
So this is just gonna summon a 1-in-1 imp if I do anything.
Let's get salty!
So if I could have summoned just even one,
Here we go.
even one more thing, I would have won. But I didn't, so I lost. Screwed that up. Alright, time to start paying attention. We've got a lot of games that we need to win here. So yes, Deponia. It's taking too long to record. It's taking too long for me to play it. I mentioned I needed to find a different way to record it, and I really do.
Let the hunt begin.
It's games like that in particular seem like they would be suited well for a couch co-op type recording. If I had somebody that played video games and wanted to be on my channel, this would be particularly a
Job's done.
good game where you could hand the mouse over to them, you could sit there and talk through the what you think is gonna need to be done. You could potentially use each other to remember elements that the other might have forgotten. But right now, not having any of that, what I'm finding myself doing, and I don't intend to do it, is you're clicking through a lot of dialogue, which right at the beginning creates this creates this situation of you're not talking very much. But even when dialogue's not happening, I'm not talking very much. I'm just sitting there going, I don't know, I have no idea, what are we trying to do here? I'm clicking on things. You have the ability to skip dialogue. Since I've heard the same conversations over and over again, because I've already talked to them, it just becomes more and more of a problem. Let's see. Well, I think I might have this in the bag. I think I might have gotten lucky here. So yeah, sort of like how I'm getting quiet in this, but even longer. I knew, because I did the research, at least some research, about how long Deponia was for average players, that it was going to be a 30-hour game. My goal is to try to keep every series within 30 episodes. I'm not trying to
The beasts obey me.
I don't want to come about and have a let's see. Why is this not affecting it? This is weird. Let's go ahead and hit the face. This will be an interesting turnaround. Next turn. So yeah, I'm going for hour-long episodes in Deponia, but big chunks of that isn't really me saying a lot. I've already, on doing series, really scaled back just the amount of random talk. I've run out of a lot of random talk. I burn out of it on purpose on this series, so we're not just yammering about things that don't really matter. Alright. Darn it. So, the question is, do I want to kill this guy? I think I do. And then that powers this guy up. And I could power this guy up some more. But I don't think I really need to.
Well played. My fang and claw. The victory is yours.
Oh, darn it. I was gonna go ahead. I was hoping to actually take that to the end. Let's play one more of these games. So yeah, I just don't know how to fix that. And what do you do with a 60-hour game? I think inherently for a 60-hour game, I have to either do I have to do either 1-hour episodes and go for 2 months, which might be alright. Witcher 3 going for 2 months, not terrible thought in my mind. But, or I do 2-hour episodes and take up 2 time slots. 2 episodes a day. Which I'm not sure how that really helps me at all. That is an interesting question for a YouTuber. Do I want 2 30-minute episodes that might get 2 views, or each? Well, 2 views between the two of them, or 1 1-hour episode that gets 2 views. And I guess if I'm just looking for views, I would want the shorter number, more episodes, because the way the ads work, there would be more ads playing on, and more views that way. I'm guessing, yep.
Job done.
Well, that's a good card to draw. So yeah, I don't know what I would have done on Witcher 3. I know what I did do was wrong. I know we went for way too long. I think perhaps 2 1-hour episodes or just 1 2-hour episode might be it. In Witcher, I say inherently too much. Stupid vocal tics. I know I do it. I just can't stop myself from doing it. Because talking is such a natural thing. It's hard to retrain your brain to stop saying the same things over and over again. The problem with The Witcher, what I was trying to say, is there were missions in The Witcher, and what I would have liked to have done, is labeled and played each one of those missions separately in a strategy of playing and sticking to specific missions, which is not how I played The Witcher, and not how I've played games ever really before. But I kind of feel like that's the right way to do it. Because
Job's done.
if I do play that way, I will be able to label the videos and potentially get more search results. Hopefully get more search results. So it could very much become that
Reporting for duty.
that like The Witcher 3 would have been just, you get some episodes around 7 and the length is just going to be random, and the amount of, if you have a beast, well, let's see, I can't do that, so I'll do this. Yeah, that, if I'm trying to focus on doing only specific levels, that is kind of what we would do. Is we would just focus on one mission and
Reporting for
get
duty.
it done. And for The Witcher 3 in particular, a lot of those missions were really long, so we would be doing just like, I think I would be doing those kind of missions as part 1, part 2, part 3. I mean, the main missions in particular were super long. So maybe in The Witcher I would have skipped all that. And all of that requires having knowledge of how the system worked after the fact. Man, I had a hungry crab just a second ago, and I could have eaten this murloc.
done.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna win this. We'll go ahead and end this episode after this one, I think.
Reporting for duty.
We still have a lot to go to do. We're almost to the end of the recording. Now, I've played Joker multiple times. I know I have. I imagine it's just an AI guy. Either that or it is there are multiple Jokers because you can do that. And that would actually make a lot of sense. Or just multiple Jokers.
Job's done.
But yeah, I would put
Reporting for duty.
more belief in the fact that there was just a lot of people that went by the name Joker than there is just an AI named Joker that beats me so well. Not that there can't be an AI out there that beats me very well. That's a simple task. Obviously, you can tell that because I'm here. Here I am about to lose again.
Job's done.
But
Reporting for duty.
yeah, so yeah, The Witcher 3 in particular would be when we get into the long 60-hour games, when we get into the long 200-hour games. I don't know how, if I'm really gonna play those for the 200 hours or something like that. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. Which is a big question for like Fallout, because I do kind of want to play Fallout 4. I don't think I'll probably play it new, but I think maybe a year later. I think after all the DLC is out, maybe that will be when I jump in on it, and I have no idea how I'm gonna play that if I play all of it like a regular gamer. A lot of my thought for some of the older games like Skyrim and Borderlands is I'm just going to try to stay pretty speedrunner-ish on them. Just stick to the main missions maybe on Skyrim and just do that, or focus on missions, particularly in Skyrim because they have random missions that just always come about. Just not doing that. Borderlands has very specific missions, so if I stuck to the main mission I could run through the game pretty fast, but then I wouldn't have a great amount of fun with it. Perhaps speed running through the first run through and then starting a new game plus and doing everything, but then I'd be at pretty low level. That's something to think about, and I definitely always am thinking about that. Anywho, that's gonna be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps out. If you want to support me, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. Click it and make a donation. And if you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.